Okay. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so for this particular part of the topic, okay, we learn how to factorize a quadratic expression. Okay, so quadratic expression can be expressed in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, where a cannot be 0, but b and c can be like whatever lah. But yeah, you need to have at least something in front of like x squared, so that is quadratic. Okay, in terms of expression. So what is factorization? Factorization is the reverse process of expansion. Okay, by reversing the process, we can factorize a quadratic expression into a product of linear factors. Okay, so we start by recalling what you have learned in terms of factorization back in Sec 1. Okay, so for example, we have px plus 2py. When we factorize, this is the Sec 1 kind of factorization. All you need to do is to see whatever is common between them. You just take out whatever is common. So in this case, both terms, what I see in common is p. So if I factorize, I will get px plus 2y. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to try part 2? Just a recap.
3x bracket 1 plus 2y.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so 3x bracket 1 plus 2y. Okay, so good that you are also able to pick out the 3, because sometimes people only focus on the letters and all this and they forgot about the numbers also. Yeah, so whatever that's common, we just take them out. So this one is what you do in Sec 1. Okay, think quite straightforward. So but then now you'll be wondering, okay, in secondary 2, we are going to do a quadratic factorization, but there's nothing common across all 3 terms, correct? Then how do I do the factorization? Okay, so before we move on to that, let's revise what we learned in expansion, okay, in Sec 2. Okay, so right before this, we learned expansion, and I thought you're using the multiplication frame. Okay, and I said that the multiplication frame is important when it comes to factorization. Okay, because actually you also learned the rainbow method. I said that actually when you do the expansion, you can just do the double rainbow, you can get your answer. You need not do multiplication frame. Okay, but when it comes to factorization, this is where we need to recap a little. Okay, so let's begin. So how do you make use of the multiplication frame? Okay, our 2 brackets. So the first bracket I'll fill in into their position. So here I'll write as 2x. Here I'll write as plus 7. Okay, then the other term, 3x minus 5. Okay, is written here. So using these terms, okay, how do I find what do they multiply into? Because if you do a double rainbow, it's just basically this times this, this times this, this times this, this times this. Okay, so basically this is the same thing as this, just that it's now put into 4 boxes. So first you have 2x times 3x. What is 2x times 3x? We have 6x squared. Okay, what is 2x times negative 5? So 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. Okay, then we have 7 times 3x, that is plus 21x. Okay, then we have 7 times negative 5, that is negative 35. Okay, then after that, what can you do? You can simplify, okay, because the like terms are your x terms. So these are your like terms. So what you can do is you simplify. So 21x minus 10x, you're left with 11x. So you get 6x squared plus 11x minus 35. Okay, this is expansion using the multiplication frame. Okay. Okay, so I move on. So now, oh sorry, you done writing?
No, I got that one.
Okay, you got that one. Okay, great. Okay, so now that we have revised how does the multiplication frame works, okay, we are going to move into factorization with the help of multiplication frame. How do we reverse this process? So you see that in expansion, you are given a bracket and a bracket, you multiply, you get this. So what we need to do is to reverse the process. So you reverse the process, meaning if I'm given this, how do I come back to get this and this? So one thing you can really see from here is that my 6x squared will naturally be filled into this position, the top left hand, and my negative 35 will be filled in this bottom right hand position. Does that make sense? And this particular term needs to be equals to the sum of these two terms. And then how do we get these other four terms? This and this will be factors of this, and 7 and negative 5 will be factors of your negative 35. So with this broad understanding, okay, let's begin. Okay, so we start off with, like I said, we know that x squared plus, let's use this example, x squared plus 7x plus 10. First thing is when I know that my x squared and my plus 10 will naturally fit into these two positions. Okay, so we place the x squared term in the top left. Okay, when I say top left, I'm just looking at just here. Okay, so it's on the top left. Okay, diagonal square. That is, I put my x squared term. Then where do I put my constant term? I put it at the bottom right. Okay. So I have my top left, I have my bottom right. So next, okay, we need to, I said that how do we know what are the terminologies, the terms that are over here? Okay, we find this by, we know that all these are factors of your x squared and your 10, where these two will be factors of this, sorry. Then this term and this term will be factors of this. So what I need to do is we need to find what are some of the possible combinations of this. So we consider all factors, okay, of the x squared term and the constant term. So for example, x squared, if you break down into their factors, is either x times x. Okay, this is there's not much other variation, so it's just x times x. Then for 10, it can be 1 times 10 or 2 times 5 for us to get 10. So either it can be here is 1, here is 10, or here is 2, here is 5. Multiply together, I'll get 10. So another thing is I have different combinations. Which is the correct combinations? This is where this particular plus 7x term will come in to be the one that verified, because we need to make sure that this term and this term, okay, will give me plus 7x. So that's where we start to do our checking. Okay, we try out. So try out all possible combinations of factors and see which one works. Okay, so we need to add the area. Okay, let me write add. Okay, add the area of the other two diagonal boxes, meaning the pink color one that I highlighted. Add up these two, and you need to make sure that it gives you the this term that you want. So let's say if we try x, let's say we try 1 and 10. So I put my 1 over here, I put my 10 over here. For these two, you understand why they are here, right? X and x, because x squared, my factors is x and x. So I put my x here, I put my x here. Then 10, I put my 1 here, I put my 10 here. I solve out the terms, I realize that 1 times x is x times 10 is 10x. I add 10x and x together, I get 11x. It does not correspond to my 7x. So 1 and 10 is an incorrect combination. Can you see 10x plus x equals to 11? So this is an incorrect combination. So if we try the other combination, 2 and 5, okay, I put my 2 here, I put my 5 here. 2 times x, I get 2x, 5 times x, I get 5x, add up. Oh yes, I get 7x. So this is the correct combination. Once you get this correct combination, okay, all you need to do, okay, is that you already know this and this will be the factors. Okay, so you can write as x plus 2. So it looks like this. X plus 5 looks like this. So far, can you follow?
Yeah.
Okay, so with this basic build up, I said, oh, okay, yeah, like, okay, so everything makes sense. Of course, this is the we start with something very simple, okay, just to illustrate you know, the understanding first. Okay, so let's try. Okay, let's maybe we do part 1 together, then later part 2 you try, and then I go through. Okay, so let's try one more example. So before you start, okay, make sure every time you need to show your multiplication frame. This is part of the working. Okay, if you don't show it, then you can be penalized lah. Okay, for the missing working. So first step, okay, what do? We write down the x squared term. So I write down the x squared term here. I write down my constant term, which is 12 over here. Okay, next I need to break down the factors. So x squared, okay, x squared can be written as x times x. Okay, this is the main one that we have. 12, okay, 12 got quite a few combination. I can have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. So all are possible combinations. Okay, so with that, since this one only have one combination, it's quite straightforward. I'll definitely fill it in first. So this will be x, this will be x. Then the other two spots, what I'm trying to get is eventually my diagonal needs to give me plus 8x, correct? So I need to get plus 8x. So here and here need to give me plus 8x. So which pair of factors should I use? Okay. After a while, I think just by looking, you roughly can tell. Okay, you don't need to try one by one, because you try 1 and 12, x plus 12x, you get 13x, 3 and 4, 3x plus 4x, you get 7x. So it's quite clear that the answer will be 2 and 6. Okay, so I can write down 2, 6. Okay, and this will give me here plus 6x, here is plus 2x, which correspond to plus 8x. So with that, okay, our factorized form will look like this. X plus 2, x plus 6. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to try part 2 yourself?
Okay.
Okay, it take about 2-3 minutes to try. When you're done, just let me know, okay?
Okay. I'm done.
You're done? Okay. So just a quick check. Okay, so and a quick recap also. First thing, I put my times over here. X squared terms go here. Plus 10 go over here. Break this down. This is x times x. This is either 1 times 10 or 2 times 5. So I think by now, with some practice, it's quite straightforward. You can very quickly see that because you want a plus 11x. Okay, so then what I should be using would be 1 and 10. So I can write my x plus 1 plus 10, so plus x plus 10x. So which is correct. Okay, this corresponds to plus 11x. Okay, then final answer, we have x plus 1, x plus 10. Okay, there can be a question. Can I write it as x plus 10 times x plus 1? The answer is yes. Okay, they are the same thing. Okay, because 2 times 3 and 3 times 2, they are the same. Okay. So ready to move on to the next level?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You mentioned your correct answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so we move to the next level. So now things start to get slightly more complicated. You will see that we'll go level by level, and you'll start to see the questions get slightly more and more complicated. Now I have x squared minus 8x plus 12. Okay, so x squared, okay, if I write down the factors of x squared, I have x and x. Write down the factors of 12, I have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Okay, so let's set our multiplication frame up. X is here, square is here, plus 12 is here, my x is already here. Okay, so now we need to choose our factors. What do I need to achieve? I need to achieve negative 8x. But then you'll be thinking, how do I get negative 8x? All of these are positive numbers. Okay, I take x and 12x, I get 13x. I will not get a negative number. How do I get negative? So you need to remember, when you have two negative numbers multiplied together, you get a positive number. Meaning 12 can be also, in terms of the factors, negative 1 and negative 12. So you take negative 1 times negative 12, you get positive 12. Same, I can take negative 2 times negative 6, I get positive 12. I can write negative 3 times negative 4, I also get positive 12. So, but then with this, you will notice that, I can do this. Oops. Okay, I can do this, and then I'll be able to get my negative 8. So I can write down negative 2 here, negative 6 here. So I get negative 2x, negative 6x, which gives me my negative 8x. Okay, so if you start to see that, if you just by your usual, both are positive numbers, you can't get your answer, then you need to realize that, okay, you need to do a negative times negative. So as 12 is positive, the factors of 12 must have the negative sign. Okay, so the solution, okay, factorize this, I will get x minus 2, x minus 6. Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try one together, then you try one on your own. So over here, so same thing, same practice. I have x squared here, 18 here, x and x. Okay, I know that this is a negative number. So over here, I need to break down into two negative numbers. I can either have negative 1 and negative 18, negative 2 and negative 9, negative 3 and negative 6. I think, yeah, that's all the possible combinations. Okay, 4 and 5 are not factors of 18. Okay, so with that, okay, I think it's also by now, I think with quite a few practice. Okay, sometimes you might not even need to list out the factors already roughly in your brain. You can do your mental calculation already. But by now, I think you can, even without multiplying out, you can, by just glancing, okay, you can roughly know, okay, who are your factors. Okay, so I have negative 3 and negative 6. So this gives me negative 3x, negative 6x, okay? And they'll be able to give you the negative 9x that you want. Okay, so with that, you know that this is factorized to give you x minus 3 times x minus 6. Am I too fast?
No.
Okay, I can follow. Okay, then you try part 2. Same thing, when you're done, let me know.
I'm done.
Okay, great. So let me just do it together quickly. X squared plus 10 x. Okay, maybe you might reach the stage where you don't even need to list down. Okay, you can straight away in your brain get that, okay, this is what I want. So I get x minus 2 times x minus 5. Okay, so during when you are doing such questions, the main working we are looking for is just the multiplication frame. Okay, we will not be looking out for this. So it's not necessary for you to list everything out. But of course, if you need it to help you with your calculation, please go ahead. Okay, because later you'll start to see that these are actually very simple questions which unlikely will come out during exam lah. Okay, so yeah, you can start to see that we're starting to get more and more difficult with the questions. Okay, so now let's move on to the next level. I have x squared plus 3x minus 4. Okay, this also gives me quite a few different possible combinations in terms of the factors. I know that x squared is just still the same, x and x. Okay, negative 4. Okay, this gives me a few combinations. I can have 1 times negative 4. I can have 2 times negative 2. I can also have negative 1 times 4. Negative 2 times 2 is the same thing as this one. This one is the same, right? Okay, so basically we have 3 different possibilities. Okay, but which is the one that can give me a plus 3, which is what I'm looking for. Okay, so let me do a multiplication frame. X squared minus 4 x. So I think by now you should be quite fast. You can see on a plus 3. Then most likely it will be this one, correct? Okay, I want my negative 1 and 4. Okay, which can give me a plus 3. So I can write down minus 1 plus 4. So here becomes plus 4x minus x. Okay, then plus 4x minus x will be able to give you your plus 3. Okay, so if as negative 4 is negative, the factors of negative 4 must have negative sign. Okay, so one of the factors must have a negative sign. Okay, while the other will be a positive sign. Okay, because to get a negative number is either positive times negative or negative times positive. Okay, so in that case, our solution over here will be x minus 1 times x plus 4. Can follow so far? Okay, then we move on. So let's try one question together. X squared plus 7x minus 8. Okay, so same thing. I'll write this down over here. Times x squared minus 8. X squared, there isn't much combination. I just do x and x. Okay, how do I get plus 7x? So it can be 1 times negative 8, 2 times negative 4. That's all the other combinations. So I flip around my combination. I have negative 1 times 8, negative 2 times 4. So these are all the possible combinations. And to get the desired combination of plus 7x, I think by looking, okay, you can roughly realize that, oh, it's negative 1 and 8. You can write down negative 1, 8. So this give me plus 8x, this give me negative x. Okay, I'll get x minus 1, x plus 8. Okay, can you see that? Okay, so same thing, you try part 2.
Okay. I
Okay.
finished.
Yep. So let's do a quick check. X square minus 15 x. Okay, I think you should get minus 5 plus 3, correct? Okay, so you see like, wow, how come Mr. Wong comes up with it so quickly? If you practice a lot, okay, you'll start to, oh, you once you see, you can straight away, you know, get the answer more quickly lah. Okay, so yeah, do you get this?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's move on to the next level. Okay, so previously we have been dealing with just x squared. Okay, and x squared is quite straightforward in the sense that it's just broken down into x times x. And then previously, you notice that actually the -1 and the +8, right? Actually, the position doesn't really matter. For example, over here, okay, you could have actually written this as +3, written here as -5. You still get the same answer. It's either x minus 5 times x plus 3 or x plus 3 times x minus 5. It's the same. Now, let's take a look at this example. I have 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. So I break this down into their factors. This will have x, 2x, okay, 3 is just 1, and 3. We're like, oh, there's only one set of factors. What's there to try? Okay, what's there to try is the positioning. Okay, everything else is the same. You write down their position first for the square term and the constant term. Okay, next you can fill in your x and 2x first. Okay, it doesn't really matter where are they, because they go in first, then as in basically they'll affect the position of the other two. Okay, so I'm going to give you a wrong example first before we go to the correct example to show you that, you know, it's not say you anyhow put. So let's say you are now trying. Okay, you try say, okay, now I have 1 and 3. So let's say I put my +1 here, I put my +3 here. Let's see what's happened. Okay, so if I have +1 over here, this term will be plus 2x. Okay, because you take the +1 times 2x. Then what about this term? You take +3 times x, you have plus 3x. Then you realize that, oh no, I'm unable to get plus 7x, which is what I'm looking for, because this one plus this one I get plus 5x. So something is wrong. Okay, so this is where I was saying the positioning does make a difference. So let's see what happens when I change the positioning. Okay, now instead of +1 here, and now I put my +3 here, I put my +1 here. Okay, so this one becomes plus x, +3 times 2x becomes plus 6x. You realize that, oh, now with this plus x plus 6x, I can get my plus 7x. Okay, so you write down the solution, you can write down as x plus 3 times 2x plus 1. Okay, so this is where the positioning starts to make a difference. Okay, previously it's all just x squared. Okay, the positioning, quite straightforward. You always more or less get it. Okay, can understand what I mean by the positioning already?
Yes.
Okay, so let's try one more question together. Okay, now I have 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Okay, so same thing. Okay, 2x squared plus 1. Actually, I think this question, there's no positioning to talk about, because +1, the factor is just 1 times 1. So there isn't much to talk about. Okay, we will try another question together. So because it's just +1 and +1, so nothing much to write. Correct, there isn't much try and error to do. You just get x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. Okay. Actually, the next question also, there isn't much positioning to talk about. Okay, or actually, there's still some trying out. Okay, so let's take a look. So I have x, 2x squared plus 9. So this one is x times 2x. Okay, 9 can have quite a few combinations. 1, 9. 3, 3. Okay, not say a few, just 2 combinations. So if you try, okay, so now let's do trying. Okay, so try and error one by one. You try, if you put +1 here, you get +2x. You put +9 here, you get +9x. Okay, does it satisfy what you're looking for? Okay, you're looking for 9x. So 2x and 11x give you 2x and 9x give you 11x. So this one cannot. So wrong answer. Okay, so we try again. Okay, we try, let's say +9 over here, +1 over here. Realize that this one will give you +18x. Actually, you don't really need to calculate already because you already exceeded. Okay, so you only want a +9x. So how do I get my +9x? So the final try, actually nothing much to try also. It says +3, there's no rotation or position, both of them are the same. So I just here +3x, over here +6x. Then they give me +9x, which is what I was trying to achieve, okay, in my factorization. Okay, so my answer will be x plus 3, 2x plus 3. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so there's quite a few to try. I try one more together with you first, okay, before you try this one on your own. Okay, so let's try this together. I have 3x squared minus 11x plus 6. Okay. Three x squared plus 6. 3x, the only possibility is x and 3x. Okay, because 3 is a prime number, the only factors they have is 1 and 7. Okay, so but now I have for 6, I have quite a few combinations. I noticed that I want a -11. So can I do it as just 1, 6, 2, 3? Answer is no, because 1, 6, and 2, 3, I can't get a -11x. I need them to be negative. So I have -1 times and -6, -2, and -3. Okay, then we try out different positionings. Okay, so maybe let's try out 1 and 6 first. I put -1 here, I put -6 here, I get -6x, I get -3x. Not what I was looking for. So I try again. Okay, I swap the position around. -6 and -1 here gives me -x. Here give me -18x. Still not the answer that I'm looking for. Okay, so we just continue trying. Now I'm left with -2 and -3. Okay, in your brain can even start to, before you place, you can start to think, okay, I want to get -11x. Do I take -2 times 3 or do I take -3 times 3? I need it big, so I will take a -3 times 3. So I put my -3 here. This gives me -9x. Then I put my -2 here. This gives me -2x. And with that, with -2x and -9x, I'll be able to get -11x. Okay, can follow?
Yes.
Okay, then you try part 4 yourself. Oh, wait, first, I forgot to write the answer for this. So this one, the final answer is, okay, x minus 3 times 3x minus 2.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, you're done. Great. Okay, so this type of question really need more practice. Okay, so of course the first few times you take a bit longer. Okay, more practice you get faster. So this one I have 3x squared here. I have 10 here. This can only be broken down into x and 3x. So to get negative 11, I will put negative 2 here. I'll put negative 5 here. So this gives me negative 5x, negative 6x, which is what I was looking for. Okay, I want to have negative 11x. Okay, so do you manage to get an answer? X minus 2, 3x minus 5.
Yes.
Right? Okay, great. Okay, so far we have been dealing, okay, where, you know, our first term, our x squared term is very straightforward in the sense that it's either x times x or x times 2x or x times 3x. It's quite straightforward. So what happens if now this first term is no longer just so simple? For example, now I have 6x squared. 6x squared can be broken down into quite a few ways. Okay, so it can be broken down into x and 6x, can be broken down into 2x and 3x. Okay, then okay, luckily the question here, to make it easy for you, the other one they just give you 1 and 7. Okay, so when you try this out, okay, so I have 6x squared here. Okay, this is plus 7. Okay, so you need to start to think, okay, I'm going to hit one of these to 1 and 7. How do I get a 23? Okay, of course, I can't hit 6 and 7, that will give me 40 something. If I hit 6 and 1, 7 and x, that will give me just 6 plus 7, which is 13, not enough. So from there, I can already know that, oh, x and 6x is not correct. So now I'm trying this. I try 3x times 1, that's 3x. 2x times 7 is 14. 14 plus 3, 8. Nope, not correct. Then I try 3x times 7, 21. 2x times 1, 2. Oh, 21 and 2. I get 23. Okay. So with that, actually, you don't need to really fill it in. You can start to, what I just did is I say out, okay, what happens in the brain, okay, when you try out. So basically just try to pair up the different combinations, okay, to see whether you can get your results. Okay, so with that, okay, based on my discussion just now, I know that I'll be using 2x and 3x. Okay, and my positioning of my 1 and 7 is such that I'll put my plus 1 here, I put my plus 7 here, so I can achieve a plus 21x. And here I have a plus 2x. So this will give me my plus 23x. So the answer will be 2x plus 7, 3x plus 1. Okay, this part can follow?
Yes.
Okay, so let's try another example together. Okay, 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. So same thing. Okay, this one can be tried as x times 4x or 2x times 2x. Okay, this one's simple. There's give you 1 and 1. So if you 1 and 1, there isn't much to try lah. Okay, so you know that if 1 times x, 1 times 4x, that's 5x. Okay, cannot already. So of course I will go with the 2x. Because 1 times 2x and 1 times 2x, I get 4x. But I want negative. This means that over here this must be negative 1 times negative 1. Okay, so that I can get it. So writing down the table. or we call the multiplication frame. For x squared, I know that this is 2x, 2x. This is plus 1, negative 1, negative 1. Okay, negative 2x, which is negative 4x. So this one I get 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. Okay, which is a perfect square. Okay, it's a special product. Can also rewrite this as 2x minus 1 bracket square. So far, can follow?
Yes.
Okay, so you can follow. Next, this is the next type of questions. Okay, sometimes it will actually be helpful. Okay, if you can practice what you did in primary school, not primary school, Sec 1 before. Okay, so what do I mean? Okay, sometimes you notice that the numbers are very big. So it's a bit tough for you to do your factorization. But then you start to notice that there's something common between them. Okay, so I think in one of our lessons, I think over here, okay, I think I said, okay, when doing factorization, okay, it's always good that if you start off by follow this sequence first by trying out whether there's any common factor. So this is what I mean by taking out common factor, okay, because this will make whatever that's left behind easier to factorize. So in this example that I have over here, this is the same thing. I noticed that 2x squared minus 16x minus 18, what is common between them is 2. So what I can do is I can take out 2. I'm left with x squared minus 8x minus 9. Suddenly does this looks more manageable, okay, to try out, of course, okay, because over here there'll be a lot of combination where numbers get very big, negative 18 and 2x, there's so many combinations you can try, okay, you'll take out a lot of time. But able to do such factorization, it will save you quite a lot. So now I have x squared minus 8x minus 9. Yeah, I draw a bit too small. See. Okay, so I'll have x squared here. I'll have negative 9 here. Okay, how do I get negative 8? Nothing much to try, just negative 1 and plus 1. Okay, sorry, I jumped too many steps. Okay, so negative 9x and x will give me my negative 8x, which is what I'm looking for. Right? So with that, I can write this as this is equals to 2 times x minus 9 times x plus 1. Do you understand this part?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a very important and helpful step to always try to look out for. Just like yesterday, I just taught in class also. Sometimes the difference between two square, your a square minus b square, instead of giving it to you perfectly, nicely already as two squares, they might even add in they times 2 to everything or they times 3 to everything. So you need to realize that first I need to factorize out the first term, then I can make use of what's left. Okay, you want to try the next part yourself?
Okay.
Okay, the approach is slightly similar to this. So far, okay? Is it stuck in any way?
Uh,
Okay, we do a quick check first. What is the common factor between all the terms over here?
3.
3. So your first step, do you factorize out the 3 first?
Yes.
Okay, so we are left with 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. Then were you trying to factorize this?
Yes.
Okay, so then in that case, I'll let you continue. You are on the right track, okay? Any issues? You managed to try all the combinations,
Yeah.
but were you able to get an answer?
No.
No, okay, let's try this together. Okay, so let's take a look. Set up my multiplication frame. First thing, my x squared terms goes into here. My plus 3 goes into here. So what's the ways that 2x squared can be written as? It's just x and 2x. So there isn't much for me to try out. Okay, 3 is just 1 times 3 or negative 1 times negative 3. Correct? But in this case, I want a negative 5x, so it makes sense that I should be using negative 1 and negative 3. So I have negative 1 and negative 3, which needs to multiply into x and 2x. So who should multiply it with who? So if we try, let's say negative 1 with 2x, this one I will get negative 1 times 2x is 2x, negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Oh, that's correct. That's the negative 5x that I want. Okay, so then this will mean that negative 1 needs to be here, so I can get negative 2x. Then negative 3 needs to be here, so I can get negative 3x, which gives me my negative 5x that I want. Okay. Then with that you
I
have,
know I can't get. I was doing x times.
you're looking
x.
at negative 15x, is it?
No, I was doing like x times x is of x times 2x.
Okay. Yeah, but okay, so at least you managed to figure out your mistake. Okay, that's good. Okay, so from there, I think you can learn from it. So when you practice more, you'll be able to get it. Okay. Okay, if okay. Actually, it's already 10 o'clock. Would you want to finish up the last bit?
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're just left with this page, right? Actually, when you came back for lesson, did you manage to catch any of this last part? The last two one, is it?
Yeah, but I didn't really understand it. Now I do.
Yeah, now actually, if you take a look at it, it's like, oh yeah, it does make sense. Okay, so but before that, let's look at question 6 together. Okay, question 6. Okay, you suddenly see, oh, my x squared is negative. Okay, oh no, it looks a bit different. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, the easiest way to do this is just simply by factorizing out the negative. So I factorize out the negative, I'm just left with x squared minus 7x plus 10. Correct? Just like how just now you factorize out a 2 from everyone or factorize out a 3 from everyone. Okay, so you just need to factorize out a negative, okay, for everyone. Then with that, do your factorization normally. I have x squared, negative 10, x and x. I want plus 7. So plus 7 is, sorry, not negative 10, plus 10. So I want negative 7, sorry. So make sure you're looking at the correct one. I was looking at this. You should be looking at the one that after take out the negative sign. So I need to get negative 7. So quite straightforward. I should use negative 2 and negative 5. So this is times x minus 5. Okay, there's a few other ways you can do this. What you can do is you either take this negative sign hit into here, or this negative sign hit into here. If you hit into the first one, it will become 2 minus x times x minus 5. Okay, if it hits into the second one instead, then you have x minus 2 times 5 minus x. Do you understand how does this negative can be absorbed into here?
Yes.
Okay, so then if you're wondering, hey, Mr. Wong, can I do it without this factorization of the negative sign? The answer is yes. Okay, so actually it will just look similar, just that it's something like this. Okay, so negative x squared, I just put as x here, I put as negative x here. Okay, I want to get plus 7x, I have negative 10 over here. So first, negative over here, how do I get plus 7x? So you'll be thinking, and you realize that, oh, actually, I think if I put minus 2 here times plus 5, I'll get plus 2x plus 5x, which is what I'm looking for, plus 7x. Okay, so then you check, is the answer the same? X minus 2, I have x minus 2, negative x plus 5, I have, oh, this one is before I expanded. So let's say after I expanded, I should be looking at this one. Okay, so minus x plus 5 is the same as 5 minus x, right? Okay, so even if I don't take out a negative sign, can I do it? Can, but you might find it more confusing that you have more negative sign to account for. So the easiest way out is I take the negative out first, then I factorize this term. After, if I want, I can take my negative and hit back in, okay? And everything will be okay. Can follow?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to try the next one yourself. So same thing, just take out a negative at the start, then you just do the rest.
I already finished it.
Oh, we finished it. Oh, that's great. So, okay, maybe I've been going slightly too slow. Okay, yeah, but okay. So I think if I'm not wrong, you will get x plus 2, x plus 3. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So do you finish the next two also?
No.
Oh no, not yet lah. Okay.
Wait, do I have to like add in the minus sign?
I think like that will be okay also. If you want to add in a minus sign, it is also okay. So if you add in a minus sign, it becomes like that. See which one you add into. Okay, yeah, I think both are accepted. Okay, so this one is also not wrong. Okay.
Okay.
So with that, actually this is just two more practice of more or less the same thing. We just I will skip this lah because just need to factorize out negative, then everything else is the same as what we have been doing on top, correct? Okay, then for this last, yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for this last part, okay, this one is where when you factorize, okay, you need to make sure that you also break up your terms correctly lah. Okay, so I think this is where suddenly instead of constant term, you have y square term. So y square term basically is just you break into like 3y and y, okay, something like that. Okay, so yeah, the one that you managed to copy is this one, is it? This one you don't have.
I don't have the first one, but I have the other three.
You have these three.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay, then maybe in that case, I go through the first one with you together. Okay, so this one, when you break it down, okay, so same thing, I write my 7x squared here, my negative 3y squared here. These are prime numbers, so it's either x and 7x. Okay, so how do I get negative 20xy? My 3, I want to hit into 7. Okay, so I'll put my negative 3y here and my plus y over here, okay, to get my negative 3y squared. So this will give me negative 21y, which is what I was trying to, so I forgot my x. Negative 21xy, and then here will give me my plus xy, which, okay, like terms, I'll be able to get this one and this one, give me this. So all I need to write, x minus 3y, 7x plus y. Okay, so this is one particular type where you have two variables, you have an x and you have a y, but they are all parked in the first and the last factor separately. There's also this variation on these two, where instead of having your m on one side and on the other side, they are all clustered together. And I think if you look at your answer, you realize that when we break this down, okay, instead of breaking them into like, let's say 5m squared and m squared, which doesn't make sense because I need to get the middle term, which is negative 31 mn. Okay, so in that case, this one is broken down into 5mn times nn. Okay, so which I think you can see on your answers, correct? The rest that you have.
Yes.
Okay, so quite clear now, the whole factorization, how you do it and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you can go back and practice. I have selected some of the questions. Okay, and like I said before in class, practice is very important. Okay, so they can get a hang of it and can do it faster during exam. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, if there's have any other questions for me?
No.
No. Okay, can let me stop recording. Yeah. Okay.